using one note at a time. Now the bass line also has a groove job and a rhythm job, but the note job of it, the harmony job, is to outline the chord sound. Since the basic chord is made up of the triads, your main notes to use in any bass line are always going to be the 1, 3, or 5. It doesn't mean you have to play all of them. It just means they're all going to be, at least one of them is going to be involved, the root, of course. And then the other notes that you might add are going to be the 3 and the 5. Then the other notes of the scale you add to connect the 1 to the 3 to the 5 back to the 1 in whichever way you're moving. So the 2, 4, and 6 actually become connectors.
Okay.
Right, as well as notes outside the scale too. You can have what's called chromatic approach notes. But the core of the bass line is always going to be the triads. So getting into triads and understanding the different ways that you can play them is a really good idea.
Cool.
Right. Also, you should know that you can video record these lessons.
Yeah, I saw your note on that. I haven't done anything about that yet.
That's going to be a huge, great feature once we start getting into more detailed, complex information, because you can actually watch a video of me teaching this whole thing again.
Yeah.
So getting that software, Pamela I think works well with PC.
Okay.
I have some students that use Pamela, and there's some other choices too, so you can kind of Google around, see what you find.
Sure. Absolutely.
But that's one of the best features that people say about these things, that they can video record it and then go back and watch it, to review procedures.
This is really good.
Huh?
This is impressive.
Yeah, I mean, this works remarkably well. It really does. If you have it set up right, then this really works good.
Perfect.
All right, so I'm going to go through like I'd like you to practice these.
Great.
All right. So first thing I want to do is say, okay, I'm section 1, left side position. I need 2 strings above the 1. All right. So I'm going to go 1, 3, 5, 3, 1, 3, 5, 3. Then do the inversion. 1, 5, 3, 5, 1, 5, 3, 5.
Okay.
Right. Now then I'm going to go to the next slide, slide 2, which is going to be the minor version of it. Now all we do is lower the 3rd degree a half step, and we call it flat 3 because the 3rd degree of a scale and or chord is what determines whether it's major or minor.
Okay. I didn't know that. Okay, got it.
So now we go 1, flat 3, 5, flat 3, 1, flat 3, 5, flat 3, 1, 5, flat 3, 5, 1, 5, flat 3, 5.
Okay.
Okay. Now the next slide is going to be, slide 3 is going to be center position.
Okay.
Section 1. 3 and 5 are still above the root, but you only need 1 string above the root note to play this one.
Okay.
1, 3, 5, 3, 1, 3, 5, 3, 1, 5, 3, 5, 1, 5, 3, 5. All right.
So
then we go to the minor.
notes.
Huh?
They were the identical notes. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But the position that you play them in are different. So, and depending on how you're fingering a bass line, you might choose a left side or a center position or even a right side position because it's more economical for your hand to play it. So knowing these different ways to play triads are going to give you options for playing bass lines and cut out unnecessary shifting.
Okay. And that just becomes muscle memory for you, I guess, at some
Oh
point.
yeah, definitely.
Okay.
I mean, the whole instrument does.
Yeah.
In the same way that your voice works as muscle memory for the spoken language. All your bass is like your vocal cords for the language of music. So you want to get all that stuff, all the stuff happening on the bass to where you don't think about it. Your hands just know where to go.
Okay.
And part of that training is this. All right. So then slide 4 is going to be the minor version. 1, flat 3, 5, flat 3, 1, flat 3, 5, flat 3, 1, 5, flat 3, 5, 1, 5, flat 3, 5. Next slide is going to be right side position major, section 1. Notice that the 3 and the 1 are on the same string. Now let your hand move. Can you see a picture of me? Do you have a picture of me somewhere on your screen, a small one somewhere?
No. A small one. No, I have you on my main screen.
Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, all right. I was thinking I still had my screen sharing up for a second.
Oh, yeah, no, you're good.
Okay. Now on this, you don't have to play with your hand stretched out like this. In fact, unless you have to do the speed of the notes, you really should never play like that.
Okay.
Always play real relaxed. Just let your hand move comfortably. 1, 3, 5, 3, 1, 3, 5, 3, 1, 5, 3, 5, 1, 5, 3, 5, 1. All right. Then the minor version of that.
Can I ask you just a technique question?
Sure.
Because on your index finger there on the 5th fret, I guess it's okay that you weren't right at the fret bar.
No, you don't want to be on it. You want to be just behind it.
Behind it? Okay.
Yeah, because if you get on it, you start to interfere with the string vibration. Because what you're doing is that note is produced by putting pressure directly on the top of that fret. That's where that note actually starts vibrating.
Okay.
Right, so once you start getting on top of the fret, then you start to interfere with the string vibration.
Okay.
So just being just behind it is the best place because you get the best leverage over that fret with the least amount of pressure.
Got it.
Right, minor? 1, flat 3, 5, flat 3, 1, flat 3, 5, flat 3, 1, 5, flat 3, 5, 1, 5, flat 3, 5. All right, now we go to section 2. Now, section 1 is the only section that has a left, center, and a right side position.
Okay.
Section 2 just has a left and a right, no center.
Okay.
All right. Now, you'll notice that we put the root note now on the D string with the G root note. The reason we did this is because we're going to need 2 strings below the root note in right side position for section 2. And section 2 means that the 3rd and 5th are sonically below the root note. They're lower pitched notes than the 1.
Okay, section 2, lower pitch notes than the 1.
Right.
Okay.
And in left side position, you only need 1 string below the root note to play it. But
Okay.
now we're going to do our root note on the 5th fret of the D string, which would be the G. See what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay. 1 3 5 3 1 3 5 3 1 5 3 5 1 5 3 5.
Okay.
Right. Then minor. Now some of these aren't going to be. You're going to look at these and go, well, that doesn't look very user friendly. And in and of themselves, they may not be. But when you're playing a bass line with other stuff that's going on around it, it actually will make more sense to play it this way than another way and actually unnecessarily shift your hand. You'll find it easier to actually work a little bit harder in this way as opposed to actually shifting your hand back and forth.
Okay.
1 flat 3 5 flat 3 1 flat 3 5 flat 3 1 5 flat 3 5 1 5 flat 3 5. All right. Then we go to right side position. This will be slide number 9.
Okay, I'm there.
All right. Now we're going to play our first finger with the on the 5th fret of the D string. Then our 3 is going to be on the 7th fret of the E.
Okay.
It's kind of an unusual, huh?
That's right side, despite the fact that the 5 and the 1 are on the same
Yeah,
fret?
yeah. Because generally center position refers to one being on the left side, one being on the right side.
Got it.
Generally speaking.
Okay.
And these are names I just made up for this stuff to catalog the information so that, you have a place to kind of index it. So when you start applying it, you can kind of grab a hold of it easier.